WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Bloomington, home to the Indiana Hoosiers, and over 200,000 acres of fall foliage in the Hoosier National Forest. Enjoy in-seasonal flavors at local restaurants, experience views atop 4 fire towers, or catch a Big Ten football game at Memorial Stadium. Plan your fall getaway at visitbloomington.com.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by the 34th Heartland International Film Festival. Returns October 9th through the 19th, showcasing 100 independent films from the Indy area. Festival tickets and more at heartlandfilmfestival.org.
Tom Alvarez is a trailblazing figure in Indiana media and arts. His multifaceted career includes work in television, theater, journalism, podcasting, and community arts advocacy. Born in Fort Wayne, he first made waves in the 1970s when he became the first Latino broadcaster on Indianapolis television. In recent years, Tom has gained notoriety as a producer of musical theater and cabaret. His latest production is titled Cabaret Latino, Songs of the Americas, a bilingual review of songs celebrating the music of Latin America. It's happening on October 10th and the 16th at the Indiana History Center in downtown Indianapolis. I recently spoke with Tom to learn more about the production. Let's join our conversation. Tom, Cabaret Latino, Songs of the Americas is happening on October 16th at the Eugene and Marilyn Glick, Indiana History Center. Thank you for taking time to be here today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure, and thank you so much for having me.
This production brings together two distinct aspects of your identity that don't always intersect, right?
It's very personal to me, this show. As an artist, my long career in theater, television, all the various activities and pursuits in my career, I always yearned to do something related to my community, the Latino community. Actually, I did produce a couple of specials while I was at Channel 6, half-hour specials, and one was about migrant workers. And really it was a tribute to my parents. That's how we got to Indiana in the mid-'40s, one of the first Latino families to settle in Fort Wayne out of the migrant stream. And, they worked hard in the fields to support 90 kids. And, when they finally got settled, my father found a factory. But anyway, that's the origin of my Latino heritage. They were from Texas, Mexican, 5 generations. When the border moved, it was once Mexico. But in any case, I grew up like many immigrant families, although they were not immigrants. We were separated by an ocean, but it might as well have been the old country where they came from, and they faced brutal discrimination and prejudice. So they elected that we would be assimilated. That by the way, there were very few Latino families, Mexican families that we lived around, other than my cousins who started joining us from Texas. So that was really my only contact. And so they were determined that we would learn English, that we wouldn't have accents, and that we would find privilege, basically. And so then, of course, I grew up an American kid. So I was, brought up between these two cultures. And, at the same time, I didn't feel like I belonged in either one of them. So my whole life has been a search for my identity. And now, at the age of 77, I believe I've self-actualized, and I've merged them together, and I've accepted who I am. And I happen to be 100% Mexican, and I also happen to be 100% American.
You mentioned your background as a Mexican-American. That's obviously a big part of your identity. Another huge part of your identity is your love of cabaret, your love of theater, your love of musical theater. Tell us about that aspect of your life. When is this something that you developed a passion for this?
I was the first in my family to go to college, and I found theater kids in my local Fort Wayne or in IU Purdue campus in Fort Wayne. And there are these kids who were running around, and I was kind of running. I was kind of, I never really fit in anywhere. I was struggling with my identity, as I already explained, in various other identities that we all carry. I grew up Catholic. At the time, I was still grappling with what it meant to be bicultural. So in any case, I had no direction when I went to college, and frankly, I went there because my brothers were in Vietnam serving as Marines, and they encouraged me to stay out of that war and get a good college education. They wanted me to live, basically, and so I went to college, but I really had no direction, had no idea what I was doing, and I had no idea that I had an interest in the arts or that I had any talent. I saw these kids running around, and they were all dressed in black, and they were all really I just was really taken with how independent they were and just how they intrigued me. And I became friends with them, and they introduced me to the theater. To make a long story short, I went to an audition to meet a friend of mine, and we were going to go have a beer afterwards. I walked in the door, and I had met the director the earlier in the day, and he knew me from that conversation. He said, "Oh, have you ever thought about auditioning?" And I said, "Well, I've never been on any stage." He says, "Well, come on down and let's see what you can do." And I had that audition on the spot, and I got cast, and that was the beginning. And I found my peeps.
You've created some notable productions in Indianapolis over the last few years. You did a musical about the visual artist Alexander Calder. You did the tribute to a Jewel Box Revue, a group of female impersonators that traveled the country in the mid-20th century. As I mentioned, this production, Cabaret Latino, I think this is the first time where you're bringing in that Mexican-American identity to your work as a theater producer, right?
The music, Latino music, is a part of our not only our cultural identity as two continents, but it has also impacted American music, popular culture, in ways that we don't even realize. And that's why I wanted to do the show, to reinforce for people that, hey, we've always been here. We're not an other. You have danced to our music. You have made love to our music. You have, you have heard our music while you're eating our food in our restaurants. I mean, this is part of what makes America. And not to mention only us have made these contributions, the Italians, the Irish, the Germans. And so I just want to remind people what America really represents. It's not them and us. We're all together. So this is a way, this concert really reflects for me a way that I can bring together all my sensibilities and share them with others. And hopefully anybody attending will identify with some part of it. And of course, the concert will be bilingual. So you'll hear some songs in Spanish, some in English. And the ones that I chose in English, actually, a couple of them are Latino artists. The diaspora is huge. And, we have so many Latin singers who have crossed over and become American superstars. Shakira, Gloria Estefan, even Bad Bunny, Yeah. So they're even, and Richie Valens, who was an early rock and roll giant.
Tom, Cabaret Latino Songs of the Americas is happening on October 16th at the Eugene and Marilyn Glick Indiana History Center. Any final thoughts you want to share?
Buy your tickets, folks, because you may not get another chance to experience. You may experience something like this because, hopefully Hispanic Heritage Month is going to feature a lot of stuff, and will continue to do so. But they will not experience this work of mine and those who are familiar with my career and my work. I like to think that, I have a reputation for quality. And so what they're going to, and by the way, the tickets are very affordable. They're $30, $25 for seniors, $25 for students, and $25 for IHS members. And you can order them on magicthreadcabaret.org, magicthreadcabaret.org, or just show up and we'll take cash and cards at the door.
Thank you for taking time to be here today.
Oh, and thank
Appreciate
you for all of the. I've already told you now that I have my own podcast. You're somewhat of a model for me. The way you research and the questions you ask, and more than that, I'm the respect that you're shown by artists that you have on. It's clear that you are beloved amongst artists. Babyface gave you the neatest compliment. I listened to a show that you did with him, and he went on and on and on about what you've done for the music scene in Indiana and what you've done for artists. So thank you, for this opportunity to reach your listeners.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate your kind words and appreciate having you here today. Thank you. We've been listening to my recent conversation with Tom Alvarez, the director of Cabaret Latino, Songs of the Americas. Last month, I attended a rehearsal of Cabaret Latino at the home of Dustin Klein, a co-producer and pianist for Cabaret Latino. I spoke with Dustin along with 3 of the production's vocalists, Alexis Faviel, Eva Luna Espay, and Pablo Gonzalez. I also talked with the clarinetist and music director, Eric Salazar, best known for his work in contemporary classical music.
So I'm Dustin Klein. I'm the artistic director of Magic Thread Cabaret, and also I'm doing vocal direction for the Cabaret Latino, and I'll be playing piano on stage at the show.
Tom sent me the playlist for the production tonight. It covers a pretty wide range of music from reggaeton to classic, boleros. Tell me about the music that you're going to be playing in this.
Oh my gosh. We have so many different countries and cultures represented, which was our goal. And, Tom had a real vision about which songs he wanted. And so we really searched those out. And I think it's just going to be a great variety for the audience. It's really just a collage of the songs of the Americas. And I'm just so excited. And there's going to be dancing, costumes, not just singing, but it's just a full production.
Do you want to speak a bit about your creative partnership with Tom, which is pretty significant?
Yeah, so we are about to celebrate 10 years, and this is our 19th production. So it's hard to believe. But we did this show in 2020, right, coming out of COVID, and it was a tough time. A lot of the public didn't want to be in the theaters, and so we thought this would be a great time to bring it back, especially with things that are happening in the country and just honoring this wonderful music.
I'm Pablo Gonzalez. I am one of the 4 singers. I grew up playing the violin. I played in a small orchestra, and then as I got older, I joined a band and moved up to Portland, Oregon with that band. And I just kind of kept making music while still learning more about the hospitality industry. So now that I've opened up my own restaurant, it's kind of nice to be able to have some time to spend on music again. It's like saying hello to an old friend.
Can you tell me more in detail about your role in this production, if there are particular pieces you're performing on?
I think the biggest challenge and what my role is being part of the quartet that is us. And I feel like a lot of times in a production, sometimes there's someone who might be the lead or the belter or something, but all 4 of us, I feel, just work so well together and we all get to shine, and that's really exciting.
Is there a favorite piece from the production that you would want to talk about?
We practiced the first time I heard the colores. I was just so excited because it sounded so beautiful when Eva and Josie were singing, and I'm just excited to get to sing with them on the second verse. So I'm excited for everyone to hear that. It's really beautiful. As I get older, I'm really listening to the lyrics in songs that are in Spanish, and it just really touches my heart.
Yeah, it's like you guys sing the down and then she can do the higher. Cool.
Hello, my name is Eva Espay. I am one of the singers in the quartet, and yeah.
Yeah. Eva, do you want to give a little bit of your musical background?
Yes, of course. I've been singing and dancing since I was maybe 3 or 4 years old in Venezuela, where I was born. They love to teach you all the traditional dances from a very young age and the songs. And so I've always been singing. In high school, I got into classical music, singing opera, and I had the opportunity to go to Italy to sing there. I sang at the Vatican as well. And I'm just singing and dancing and acting. And I took a step back due to personal reasons, maybe a little before like 2019. And this is my first time kind of back doing a show. And so I've been very excited to be a part of it.
It's incredible. What did you sing at the Vatican?
We sang a lot of classical opera. I mean, all of your... I'm trying to remember, my favorite was a song about King David's son Absalom, and that was a gorgeous song. So, and I got to sing with other choir members as well. So
That must have been a pretty unique experience.
it was definitely was. It was beautiful.
Is there a piece in this production that you're featured on, or a piece you would want to talk about that you're really excited about?
I am very excited about Whenever, Wherever by Shakira. It's my first time singing it in English, though. I usually do it in Spanish, but I love Shakira. She and I both share, we're both Latinas, but we share roots in the Middle East. So I love her fusion of music of not just Latin, but also she fuses Arabic elements as well, and other elements, but I love that. And so I'm very excited to get to sing that.
I'm at your feet. Whenever, wherever, we're meant to be together. I'll be there and you'll be near. And that's the way you want it. They're over, here under. You'll never have to wonder. We can always play by ear. And that's the way you want it.
Well, my name is Alexis Faviel, and I'm also one of the 4 singers of this particular show. So I currently sing with 2 different mariachi bands. I do play an instrument, violin, but my main role is singing. So
Which mariachis are you in?
The names are in Spanish. I'm gonna say them. One of them is called Mariachi Sol Jalisciense,
Of course, yeah.
and our other mariachi is Son de mi Tierra.
That's awesome. You're in like one of the big mariachi groups.
Oh,
I would
of
say,
course.
right?
They are like, they're celebrating, I think, 25 years this year.
Wow. That must be a fun group to perform with. They're loved here in the city.
It's amazing. I mean, I've seen their work. They work everywhere. I mean, even out of state, which is good.
Yeah. How does your background in mariachi translate to singing in cabaret?
Well, I guess for me, it's like the passion. I mean, I just put a lot of emotion into it. So it's not just about singing, but feeling the music. So that's what.
Hi, I'm Eric Salazar, and I am the music director for Cabaret Latino. My role has been to create the arrangements that we'll be performing, and I'll also be playing bass clarinet at the concerts.
When we think of Eric Salazar, we don't think cabaret, right? This is not your typical musical home. Tell me about how you got involved in this, and is this something that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, so this is definitely a step in a different direction for me artistically. However, it's also a very logical step for me because in 2023, I was fortunate enough to receive a creative renewal artist fellowship where I got to travel to Mexico City and live there for a month and just hang out with mariachis all day and study the music and listen. And my grandpa was born there, so I got to go there and connect with his culture. And so since then, I've been actively seeking opportunities to perform specifically Mexican music. So I jumped at the chance when I got it.
Obviously, we heard last week that La Plaza canceled their annual fiesta celebration, one of the longest running Latino festivals in the state of Indiana. What does it mean to you to be presenting Latin American music and culture on stage in Indianapolis at a time when Latinos are being profiled, when La Plaza felt like they needed to cancel this event to protect the people they serve? I also heard El Grito was canceled at Garfield Park, which is obviously a huge celebration. Anyone want to comment on that? Pablo?
I think there's a bittersweet element to these moments. As a gay man, fighting for rights or being looked at in a negative light is not something that I'm new to, especially after the tragedy at Pulse in Orlando. Allowing ourselves to still celebrate Pride really took a lot of support from the community. And I feel like that's something that I've really leaned into, especially these days. And it's been amazing to see really the whole country lean on community as well. And it is just such an honor to be able to sing songs that mean so much to us. And it's something that the four of us have talked about before, and how important it is for us to show up and not be afraid.
Anybody else want to add anything to that?
I think Pablo pretty much covered it, but I did want to say thank you to our community. And the four of us, and I know that the entire group just wants to make sure the reason we're doing this is to uplift, is to make sure that our community feels loved and appreciated and seen, and that they're proud of our culture.
We've been listening to my recent conversation with the cast members of Cabaret Latino, Songs of the Americas, a bilingual review of songs celebrating the music of Latin America. It's happening on October 10th and the 16th at the Indiana History Center in downtown Indianapolis.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Bloomington, home to the Indiana Hoosiers and over 200,000 acres of fall foliage in the Hoosier National Forest. Enjoy in-seasonal flavors at local restaurants, experience views atop 4 fire towers, or catch a Big Ten football game at Memorial Stadium. Plan your fall getaway at visitbloomington.com.